Jason Wilcox joining Manchester United from Southampton. It's done, it's official. Jason Wilcox is the new technical director of Man United. Agreement on the compensation for Southampton, so the mission of Man United was very clear. Omar Berrada from Man City, new CEO, done. Now new technical director, Jason Wilcox. He will work on recruitment, on the academy, on identity. He's the man who did a great job at Manchester City as head of academy, then joined Southampton, and now going to Manchester United, never tempted by Liverpool or any other club rumored in the media. He was only focused on Manchester United, negotiating for Manchester United and dreaming of this project. Now he will be part of Ineos discussions, and now the next step is going to be Dan Ashworth. Just a matter of time, and then Dan Ashworth will be new Manchester United director, completing this trio for Ineos. A really important one. Negotiations with Newcastle continue for Man United to have Dan Ashworth as soon as possible.
Fabrizio Romano there. Obviously, Wilcox in at the football club. Dan Ashworth next. Was told last night by a couple of journalists that a deal for around 12 million in compensation that will be paid over a 3-year period for Dan Ashworth is complete, bringing together the trifecta of individuals that Ineos want to run the football project at Manchester United. Once they are in, the next step is deciding on the future of Ten Hag, who the next manager will be. Parallel with that will be who is leaving and who are the mainstay targets this summer as Man United look to begin a major overhaul. And for me personally, there were some comments this morning that I read which just were music to my ears. And these read that Man United realize they cannot swing wildly from one system to another just to fit a coach. Just reading that line today after a briefing from Ineos was amazing. It's what we've done for a decade. We've gone from Moyes to LVG to a Jose to an Ollie to a Ten Hag. And the words they use in this article is you create a Frankenstein squad. And that is exactly what we have done. And I love the fact the first thing we're doing at Man United now is looking to fix that problem. Who is going to be the next manager, though? That's the big question. Thomas Tuchel, has told, or has an agreement with his agents that he will take the Manchester United managerial position if it becomes vacant. He wants it. He has agreed with his team. If we get offered this job, that is where I want to be. We're also linked to everybody, really. Motta, we're linked to Graham Potter. There was big stories last week of Zinedine Zidane. Obviously, Nagelsmann was linked, but he has now signed that deal with Germany. Amarim we're looking at as well, and a number of others. Man United are doing their full due diligence. And I want to just put this out there now. I'm not the biggest fan of Thomas Tuchel. I know he's a Champions League winner. He could become a 2-time Champions League winner by the end of this season. I am not his biggest fan, but I am going to put faith in these football decision makers in Berrada, Ashworth, and Wilcox when it comes down to the decision they make. I'm going to step back. I'll give my opinion, but I'm going to step back and give it time to marinate and to cook. What I will say is this, the Man United fans need to strap themselves in for this. This idea of going out and getting the best manager in the world available in terms of their CV and their winning background may not be the best step for Manchester United. And I say that not to lower the expectations or standards of the club, it's to, in fact, build the standards. The reason I say that is because this squad is not going to be ready for one of the elite level managers in the first season or two. Now, unless an elite level manager is completely aware of that, is on board with it, and the fans understand that you are not going to see instant success, or very unlikely to see instant success first season back challenging. I still see Man United fans say, give a war chest to a Jose Mourinho and we could win the league within a year. This type of thinking is the reason that we've ended up where we are. We switch our styles. We have no long-term thinking, no long-term squad planning. You end up with this Frankenstein squad. You end up with a disjointed football club. So I'm very excited at who we're appointing at football decision-making level. I'm not completely over the moon about all the managers we're linked to, but when I listen to what Ineos say, when I listen to their message, it's about scrapping everything, building a foundation, starting again. And I have to endorse this message because it's everything I've been asking for the best part of a decade. Today, we are sponsored by Match Bingo. Make sure you get signed up right now. It is honestly the best, the most fun, the most exciting game to play on social media right now when it comes to Premier League and Championship games. You buy a bingo card. Some of them are free as well, by the way. And then you just sit back and are your picks going to come up? Is there going to be a goal in a minute ending in 4? How many shots on target will one team have? What will the injury time be? If you get 1 line, you win money. If you get 2 lines, you win money. If you get a full house, you win the grand prize. It's absolutely fun. It's really relaxed and easy. And the best part about it, it supports the charity of your choice. So make sure you get signed up to it now and get it done because it is amazing. Now, moving on to a story here regarding Arsenal is the pursuit of Alexander Isak. Now, Arsenal want him. He is, let me rephrase that. He's a player Arsenal would like to sign. He's on their list. There is challenge to whether he's the number 1 target, but he's certainly a player that Arsenal are looking at. So they would love to get him. Barcelona are now showing interest. Interesting with Barcelona that Xavi has now decided that he wants to stay, according to some reports. But Robin Lewandowski is someone the club wants to move on from. They see him as well past his sell-by date. Isak is having another great season. He's already accustomed to La Liga, and Barcelona are coming in for him. This is bad news for Arsenal on 2 fronts. One, it's Barcelona. And although they are not the same Barcelona we all know and love, and, well, I didn't really love them, but respect it anyway, they are still Barcelona. They can still attract players. Arsenal are in a very good position. Isak is obviously settled in the Premier League and he loves it here as well. But the €100 million asking price has now reportedly been set by Newcastle. The difficult thing for Newcastle is when you've got Barcelona and Arsenal coming for one of your players, the heads are turned. We also know that Arsenal have begun talks, though. Well, we say no. There's reports that Arsenal have begun talks with Bruno Guimaraes. And the one thing I would say is this about both these stories that are circulating at this particular moment in time. Is Arsenal not going to get both from Newcastle? Arsenal not going to be able to sign Bruno and Alexander Isak at the same time. I don't think Newcastle will allow that to happen. They would put their foot down and say, absolutely not. We may have to let one go for FFP reasons. We may have to let one of them go because they want to leave, and no club wants to hold on to a player that doesn't want to be there. It's bad for business. But are Arsenal going to get both? I doubt it very, very much indeed. And the question I'm posing here to Arsenal fans, you have started talks, according to reports, with the Bruno Guimaraes camp. That's done. But who would you prefer from Newcastle? Isak or Guimaraes? Should it be Guimaraes and going after Wilcox? Or should you be looking for a different midfield player? Should it be a Zubimendi that you go after along with an Isak? Because you're going to have to get your combinations right here, because I don't think you're getting 2 from Newcastle. But let me know in the comments section below what you think. Now, keeping with Arsenal, but this also involves Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City, Juve, is the pursuit this summer of Michael Olise. We all know how talented this young man is. And I want to say this with all due respect to Crystal Palace, but I think it's time for him to move on. I think it's time for him to spread his wings, broaden his horizons, and challenge himself with the pressures of playing for a gigantic club, a massive club, a mammoth in the world of football. And everybody he's linked to is huge. Some bigger than others, but every single club that he's linked to is huge. It's a very difficult race. Now, as a Man United fan, I like him. I love him at my club. But with Arsenal and City in completely better positions than Manchester United currently sit, it's going to be difficult. Unless, and again, we have to be, and Juve, of course, as well, there'll be a Champions League team as well next year. Unless he's not guaranteed the first team football, unless he sees himself going into those clubs as a bit of a squad player to begin with, and Man United can offer him a starting berth. Man United can say, listen, Olise, we absolutely rate you. Yes, we're not going to have Champions League football for you next season, but this is our project. This is our new manager. We see you, 22 years of age, remember. We see you as a player that is going to start regularly on our right-hand side. Anthony is being moved on as an example. We see Garnacho as the left-hand side attack. You are going to be the number 7, the main guy at Man United on the right-hand side, that's when United could get this job done. However, listen, City, they're going to get rid of Jack Grealish in the summer, in my personal opinion. Bernardo Silva has asked to go for the last couple of years or has been flirting with it. He might leave. They may have an opening berth in their team for him to play in. And I just don't think at this particular moment we can compete with City in that way. For Arsenal, it's a very interesting one. Very interesting for Arsenal. Very interesting for Arsenal. Plays on the right-hand side, direct competition, Saka. And I think Arsenal need to do it. I think Arsenal need to go and sign somebody who has the ability and belief to say, I can keep Saka on the bench. Now, that will trigger some Arsenal fans, but it shouldn't. It should inspire you. You should want your club to be signing players, if available, that are better than what you've already got, or believe they can be better than what you've already got, because your club comes before any individual player. This nonsense of, what about the pathway? What about this? What about that? What about the development? It's irrelevant. This will push Saka to next levels, in my humble opinion. I don't want it to happen. I want him at Manchester United, but I'm just talking about this from the perspective of each club. And for Chelsea, look, they've got Madueke. So far, I'm not that impressed with him. I know some Chelsea fans love him, but at least they would be a brilliant signing for you as well, in my opinion. But just like Man United, we're struggling up against these other big clubs in better positions than we are. As ever, I want your views and I want your opinions on all of these stories today in the comment section below. I was just thinking there, pause. I was thinking, I wonder what people are going to throw salt in the comment section today. Based on stories that they'll pretend that I made up. Listen, I love you all very much indeed. Hit the like and the share button. Check out Match Bingo, though. Honestly, such a fun game during matches. I bought a few tickets tonight for the Arsenal-Chelsea game. I love it. And it just adds an extra dynamic to the games. It really, really does. So go and check that out, people. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.